Okay, I wanted to talk really quick about this idea of puppeting. Sometimes I use this word only because something weird happened to me and I know it can be done. And it's like I would have never necessarily believed it. So anyway, one example of this would be quite a few years ago, there was a woman who is like an assistant or a secretary to someone who's on the House of Representatives, like a representative or a senator. I forget which house it was, but all of a sudden she was triggered or signaled to get up and go to the podium and speak her mind on a very specific topic at hand. We'll keep doing that. So anyway, sorry, I had to stop there for a second. So this woman who normally would never go up to the podium in front of everyone in the House of Representatives or Senate or wherever it was that she was, felt compelled and just like in an instant, almost like a fembot or someone who is used, went up and started speaking her mind on a topic. This rarely to never happens, right? So I used to watch someone called Mr. Cat Eye on YouTube. He since moved to Rumble and isn't on YouTube any longer for various reasons. And he broke down the video because these are live streamed, open to the public, transparent things that go on. The government is supposed to be transparent. So he had video of what happened and he broke it down and showed that her boss, all of a sudden did something with his hands. He did something like a weird signal with his hands, and at that instant is when she felt compelled, or she was triggered or activated into taking the stand and talking to everyone on the House floor or what have you. And it made more of a believer out of me, because it's one of these things where it's like, how uncool is it to know that some people are a puppet, or that somebody can be controlled that easily? All you need is a phone to ring and it could activate someone's brain into different activity, and they're not even conscious. They're not living totally consciously. Like, they could be partially put into a sedated or asleep state of mind. I was watching this video of Mr. Cat Eye, and you could see everything sort of unfold in terms of him doing a hand signal. There were like 3 things that went on the House floor, and this woman got up and all of a sudden, out of the blue, felt compelled to start pontificating on a specific topic. So anyway, that's one example. I'm thinking about 10 things at once here. Another example, of course, is the movie Beetlejuice. The first version came out in 1988. That happened to be the year that I graduated high school. And this year, the second version, the sequel or a remake of it, came out with Winona Ryder. And some people see her name as Win on a Rider. So if someone is a master of handling someone or puppeting or what have you, in a way, the person who's puppeted could win on a ride if it were a good ride. The puppeting system could get really bad. People wind up in really bad positions and they don't even know that they've been activated or puppeted by someone else. I don't love the word puppeting, but that's the one that comes to mind. There's the old imagery of the Godfather movie with someone who sort of runs everyone. You're like on strings and everything. Something's going on here with 2400 Market and Curtis. Is this it's Philadelphia Trolley Works. So I'll just stay right here, I guess. So anyway, I had something really bizarre happen to me in 2011, and I was running around the city like a chicken with her head cut off, trying to dodge as many bullets as possible. All kinds of crazy things were going on. Here's a Ford Escape who needs to back up for this guy to turn, I guess. So anyway, what compelled the woman on the House floor to all of a sudden feel like she needed to get up? Also, I had a relative who would wait on the porch for in-laws to come and pick her up, say if there was a special event going on, and they're like, oh, we're gonna come pick you up at 5 o'clock. And they were notoriously late, these people. And she would sit on the patio and wait, or the porch, screened-in porch. Anyway, there was one afternoon, or when she was waiting, this one time that I was happened to be paying attention, the phone would ring and she would pick up the phone. She didn't say hello or okay or anything. She picked up the phone. I could faintly hear on the other side the in-law saying, okay, we're around the corner. And then she just hung up the phone. And for a second, she looked to me like a fembot, like someone who was activated by the phone. Now she knows someone's coming around the corner. It was totally weird. Like, it was kind of a robotic moment. And anyway, I'm just wondering how many people walking around tonight are actually puppeted, and they're operating in such a subconscious way they don't know that someone else is at their controls. That is a very scary prospect to me. So I know it can happen. I experienced so many weird things. There were a couple instances where I felt like someone was lifting my hand up in the air, and I'm like, that is whack. What is it? I'm looking up all kinds of crazy stuff online, like ghosts, or I'm like, how does that, like, what is it? I practiced yoga in Florida at a place called Yoga Habit. I was in Florida for 2.5 years, and I was trying to, I actually was a karma yogi, which means you get free yoga if you serve like 4 hours a week and, you know, clean up the yoga studio and check members in and stuff like that. So when I was practicing, I was trying to get into a very difficult pose, difficult for me, called Kundanyasana 2. And while I was trying to sort of teeter on my elbows in forearm position, my back right leg lifted up all by itself really high. So we have, tow truck needed to come backwards on Locust tonight for some reason. They're towing cars out. It looks like a Delaware Subaru or similar. So for some reason they needed to come this way as opposed to go in the other direction. So I don't know. So they had to put on the whole show here. But all of a sudden I felt my back right leg go up, because that would be the leg that's floating in the air. It's hard to explain that particular pose while the other leg is extended off to the side while balancing on a forearm balance. It's hard to explain. But I was so freaked out by it that I had to hurry up and get down from the pose, if you will. I knew my strength, I knew what I was capable of, and there's no way I would have been able to lift my leg up that high. Here comes another tow truck. So I guess tonight's towing night. Here it's Friday, November 8th. I kind of wonder, we haven't had any major activity in terms of protests or anything like that, but I'm wondering if people are trying to make it seem like we got to get cars out of here if anything starts up. I don't know if that's the message or not, but also this girl has on Virginia Tech, and Virginia Tech had a mass shooting. They were one of the first mass shootings in history that we used to hear about back in the day. And could a mass shooter be puppeted? I think they could be. They can also be heavily provoked, so they go postal. So who's at fault? The people who make the person go postal, or the person who winds up going postal? It's like the Michael Moore theory of, we have the Columbine kids who were bullied to death, is the word, a whole documentary on this. They manufacture guns in their community. So big surprise.